Wow, what's good, family? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boxing community. Shout out to Envision Video. Envision Photography and Video. Shout out to the Louisiana All America Sports Network. Shout out to Mission Control, Lindell Mitchell, and Eric Hatfield, and Coach Perry Daniels. Shout out to them. And shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. In this particular live stream, I plan on being here for a good time, however, not for a long time. I'm going to talk about my favorite fighter. As you can see, he and I in the screensaver right here, my favorite fighter, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. And, shout out to my brother, 7A Sports TV. He had exclusive interview with Deontay Wilder on Sunday. Well, at least it aired Sunday. More than likely, he probably did the interview prior to that. And 7-8 just let it premiere on Sunday. But either way, he did an interview Sunday. The interview dropped Sunday anyway. And I'm not going to lie, it was an excellent interview. It kind of gave you, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that's been going on with Champ. Of course, first and foremost, before we, talk about a couple of those behind-the-scenes things. First, he will return against Tyrell Herndon in the 10-round bout at Charles Gotch Arena in Wichita, Kansas. The fight will take place on June the 27th and will be streamed on BLK Prime. And, of course, I definitely plan on watching that fight. I'm not going to use, no device or anything. I'm going to actually, purchase the fight to support Champ. I rock with him. That's my favorite fighter. So I'll be certain to check that out on June the 27th. But, 7-8 just kind of talked to Champ. And, of course, Champ was saying that, as you can see in the picture with he and I, he had the hand issue, but he also had a shoulder issue also. So, he was saying that he was having a lot of pain. And this the first time in a long time he has been pain-free in terms of, being able to throw his right hand without having any pain. So that's why, of course, his detractors, his doubters, his naysayers, they say, oh, this excuse. See, the thing about it is, if they weren't Wilder haters and it was just being honest and seeing the situation for what it was, then you could legitimately say that in all three fights with Tyson Fury that he was cheated. Because you can see in the first fight between Wilder and Fury, that Fury had the floppy glove. He didn't have the glove all the way on his hand. He cheated in that regard. And in addition to that, Fury was knocked out. I don't care what nobody say. Wilder knocked him out. So, one, he got the long count. And two, the referee making that's counting, essentially he woke Fury up. And that's how Fury was able to survive, because in any other normal situation, in that first fight with Fury, the referee not even counting, he just waving it off. Because you could see him on the canvas, with his eyes closed. He was out. So that's the first fight. He clearly got cheated in the second fight. And then the third fight, Fury got another long count because the referee sent him to the wrong corner. Then he sent him to the other corner. Then he sent him back. And all that time, Fury was down. There was no count going on. So I don't care what nobody say. In all actuality, at this point, Wilder should have been the undisputed heavyweight champion in the heavyweight division already. He was cheating in all three fights with Fury, in my personal opinion. And we don't know what it took out of him. However, after that, he eventually, he came back and he had a savage knockout win. I did a post-fight reaction to that because Southern University had a game the same night. I came home from the game and I watched the fight. And then after that, he had back-to-back losses to Joseph Parker. And of course, Joseph Parker didn't fight Wilder when he was in his absolute prime. I felt like he really went after the lighter touch in Anthony Joshua, even though Joshua won. I think Joshua got some officiating that benefited him also. And then Wilder got stopped by Zhang. So, those are the losses on Wilder's record. But, he had to realize that he had issues in terms of physical, and not only that, but he had a lot of personal things going on in his life. And of course, he wouldn't divulge all his personal information. And I don't blame him. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a public figure in the stature or the magnitude of Deontay Wilder. However, I completely understand, him wanting to keep his personal business private. I mean, that's not for the whole world to know, because when they asked him questions, after the first loss to Fury, they asked him, how he was feeling, and he was saying that he felt funny, he felt strange, he was weak, he was tired walking to the ring. Even his costume felt heavy. Instead of him just telling it just like he said it, they made it seem like it was an excuse. Hey, his costume, his suit was heavy, like as an excuse. And it's like basically y'all took his words and twisted it around. So I don't blame Champ for not wanting to, be forthcoming and truthful in terms of his personal business. Shout out to the Queen Shower. She says salute, coach, salute, Queen. And while she is here, I have her pulled up. Please go to the Queen's channel. Go check her out. She does excellent boxing content. She does great live streams, great breakdowns of all the fights, in the world of boxing. So please go to her channel and check her out. Her channel is growing. So all the LDBC family members, if you have not subscribed to the Queen Showers channel yet, please go to her channel, go support her, go subscribe to her channel. She does excellent content. And of course, this picture with myself and Wilder, like in that picture, I think she was to the right or to the left for the LDBC family reunion. So she might not have been in the picture itself, but she's right there in the surrounding area when we took this picture. But like I was saying, Champ gonna make his return, but him and 7-8 had a nice, good conversation. If I'm not mistaken, I think the interview was like 22, 25 minutes. They talked about some of his personal issues. He didn't go into details, but everybody know, he had a breakup with his ex. Salute to Edwin Moore. Salute, of course, members of Jaguar Nation. Right after this live stream, we're gonna have a Southern University live stream talking about spring football, and I got some other details coming for all my members of Jaguar Nation. But yeah, but of course, 7-8 and Champ, they talked about some behind the scenes stuff in terms of him having to deal with injuries. He had a bad breakup. They didn't go into details about that, but we know what he was alluding to. And in addition to that, he had a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on in terms of he had to get his mental health right. Additionally, he had to get right from a physical standpoint. He talked about building a gym, and not only that, but he had gotten soft in terms of him not having that dog, not having that killer instinct. Part of it was physically he wasn't all the way right, but also him having mental health issues, and he had to realize like, hey, I'm not at the point where I'm at full strength physically, mentally, so I need to take a mental health break and get my mind right. In addition to getting my mind right, I need to go the extra mile of the way in terms of, getting right physically and taking care of all of my, behind the scenes issues and getting my life in order, my team and everything. So, it was a great interview. If you have not checked it out on 7-8 Sports TV channel, go check it out. He did a live stream. Like I said, it wasn't really a live stream, more than likely. It was a pre-recorded video, and it just dropped Sunday. But either way, it was a dope conversation between Champ and my brother 7-8. Go check it out. Also, in terms of, the world of boxing, I was listening to 7-8's live stream this morning, and, we talked about trainer Derrick James. And if you look at my channel, like one of my oldest videos that year, Derrick James was the trainer of the year, in my personal opinion. He didn't get it, but, a lot of LDBC type channels, like the Sister Queen Shower, like they said, Derrick James was the best trainer that year. And in addition to that, he got a lot of praise in the LDBC, not only that, but black content creators. We ain't talking about these, these ninjas that do ninja gossip. We talking about, real stand-up brothers and sisters that do dope content. They pretty much all acknowledge that he was a trainer of the year that year. And unfortunately, after Ryan Garcia, cheated our brother, Devin the Dream Haney. And of course, Deontay Wilder is my favorite fighter, but Devin the Dream Haney is my second favorite fighter. After he cheated, after Ryan Garcia cheated him, it's astonishing that leading up to the upcoming event with Turkey Al-Sheikh that they're going to have in New York, from what I'm understanding, it's supposed to be in Central Park. Basically, first and foremost, Derrick James went back to Ryan Garcia after Ryan Garcia tried to get rid of Derrick James. And that's one thing but Derrick James, I'm kind of disappointed in him. Not kind of, I am extremely disappointed in him from the perspective and standpoint that Ryan Garcia went on all these racist rants and racist tirades. And he went on these tirades. And then after that, he got rid of you. He tried to go to Eddie Reynoso in terms of being his trainer. And but when Ryan Garcia and Anthony Joshua went to Derrick James' gym, basically at that point in time, Errol Spence Jr. was undefeated. Errol Spence Jr. was undefeated, and Jermell Charlo was undefeated. So you got two undefeated champions. They're doing well and they're thriving. Now Anthony Joshua come here with all his loser energy, and the gym goes down. And then Ryan Garcia, the scumbag, racist piece of trash that he is, he completely runs the gym all the way down. And that gym hasn't been the same. EJ and DJ, they parted ways. And the crazy thing about it is, after his whole racist tirade, Ryan Garcia left Derrick James and tried to go to Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso was like, nah, we don't want to have no parts of you. And basically, he came back to Derrick James, and Derrick James took him back. Look, bro, I don't know what Derrick James' financial situation is, but at the end of the day, I don't even understand why you would want to associate with Ryan Garcia. And that's why I understand all these black people. And Queen said there were 3 fighters in the gym that were major fights on the line. Frank fought Tank 2 years. Oh, that's another excellent point too. Queen brought up excellent point. Not only was it Errol Spence Jr. and Jermell Charlo, but Frank Martin also. So that's an excellent point, Queen. And the thing about it is, it's like, man, for you to take this dude back. I mean, that's kind of like I use this analogy in the chat this morning for 7-8's live stream. That's like a chick, me and her going together right now. She my girlfriend. And she leaves me. And she was like, hey, I don't want nothing to do with you, this, you, that, and the third, and you leave. I'm like, all right, cool, bet, you leave. Then she realizes when she gets on the market that she doesn't have any options at her disposal like that. And she come back and I take her back. Look, man, in that particular instance, I look, hey, I wish you well. You just need to get out of my face. Because if you left me under those circumstances, I want nothing to do with you. So the fact that Derrick James took him back, I don't care what his financial situation is. To me, all money not good money. And I stand on business. And for you to disrespect my people, for you to disrespect my race and disrespect my ancestors the way Ryan Garcia did, and him talking about bringing George Floyd back to life and desecrating him and deleting him again. And man, you still got all of these black fighters still rocking with this dude, still cool with him. So basically, there's no consequences and no repercussions for all the disrespectful, racist things he said. And instead of Devin the Dream Haney, getting all the praise and love for the way he performed against Ryan Garcia, who came in 3 pounds overweight and used PEDs. Basically, they making Devin the Dream Haney like he a scumbag and he the bad guy. And Ryan getting a lot of praise and love. And it's one thing for the Hispanic community to embrace Ryan Garcia and do these things, cool. But for black people, for Bernard Hopkins not to give him no pushback, Derrick James to take him back, all of these fighters to be cool with this dude, it's like, man, y'all sicken me, y'all disgusting. Even Rampage Jackson, he another buck dancing coon and buffoon, Deion Sanders, and all y'all make me sick. And it's that's part of the reason why the black community is at the bottom, because we don't have no self-respect. Collectively, as a whole, we don't stick together. We don't stand hand in hand. And like, we don't stay on code. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to keep it a buck. I love black people. I can't stand ninjas. And for all of y'all, like Deion Sanders, who after he cheated Devin Haney, for you to bring him in your locker room and parade him around your players, and yeah, my Jesus did it. Man, look, bro, first of all, the Lord is not the author of confusion. So for him to say his Jesus did that, that's cap. Because guess what? Jesus wouldn't condone you doing all the scumbag, trash bag behavior that Ryan Garcia was doing leading up to the fight and after the fight. And, Jesus not, and the Lord is not the author of confusion. For you to throw Jesus in that and for Prime to co-sign that. And I'm like, bro, not only is Ryan Garcia a scumbag piece of trash, but as a coach, you need to vet the kind of people that you bring around your players. Because guess what? When I was a head coach, hey, I didn't bring just anybody around my players. Certain people weren't allowed in our locker room and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, bro, like, that's part of the reason why is a people we not where we should be, because we don't stay on code and we don't stick together. And at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia's a scumbag piece of trash, but he's getting all this praise, he's getting all this love, he's getting all this adulation, and people making it seem like Devin the Dream Haney, who was cheated, he the bad guy. And I mean, it's crazy to me. But, that's the world we live in, where, good is bad and bad is good, up is down and down is up, right is left, left is right. And it's crazy to me, it's ridiculous. And Queen said yes, and let him play that BS. He blasphemed the Holy Spirit, was shot by Coach Palm. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I was disgusted by his behavior. And I'm like, bro, like, you're supposed to be a good, upstanding Christian, God-fearing man. And man, bro, you rocking with this dude. So I'm gonna keep it a buck. I didn't really get on his helmet when he left Jackson State to go to Colorado. I knew at some point he was gonna go on the greener pastures, but I felt like on his way out the door at Jackson State, he didn't need to put Jackson State down the way he did. All he did was say, hey, I'm leaving for a better opportunity, and boom, go. But when he did all of those things he did, and he brought Ryan Garcia around his team and paraded him around and gallivanted him around, I'm like, nah, bro, I can't rock with this dude no more. So to this day, I really don't rock with him. And Queen Shower said, nothing about Ryan says the Most High to me. Oh, not at all. I mean, for him to be, talking about, buying chicks, breast augmentation and BBLs, and him leaving his wife and allegedly beating her up and leaving her there with their child and woo. Everything about this dude says he's deranged, he has mental health issues, he's an extreme racist piece of trash. And for all of these black people to co-sign this dude, I mean, that's the worst part of this whole situation. And the irony is in the realm of boxing, Clarissa Shields is the only one that kind of spoke facts when she had a recent interview with Fight Hype. Man, it's sad, bro, the way, these black fighters, instead of them gravitating towards Devin Haney and being on his side and in his corner and bigging him up. You know, they giving all of this praise and adulation of this scumbag piece of trash, Ryan Garcia, and it just makes me sick. I'm disgusted by it. And at the end of the day, I really think, you know, I think the community as a whole need to check some of these fighters. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was a huge fan of Clarissa Shields. And then at one point, I'm not gonna lie, she really turned me off with the whole Keith Thurman situation and her think she could whoop men. And I'm like, baby, look, you have more feminine energy, you need to stay in your lane. You know, I know Alicia Baumgardner was her biggest rival, but that's one thing that was more appealing to me in terms of Alicia Baumgardner. She had more feminine energy, whereas Clarissa Shields had a lot of masculine energy. You know, she got knocked down by this dude in the gym. You know, she trying to go to her car and grab a shank. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, come on, baby. Like, we not doing this. Like, hey, don't try to fight men. But at least in this particular instance, like, she stood on our square. She stood on business. And I can respect that about her, you know. And she said I think so too. Clarissa did a great interview. I'm planning on speaking on that. And Queen, I'm planning on, when you speak on it, I plan on checking it out, you know what I'm saying? And she said same here, she had to walk away from Clarissa for you know, wanting to fight men miss. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, she really turned me off about always thinking she could whoop a man, and she thinks she could beat Keith Thurman. And I'm like, baby, Keith Thurman might not be one-time Keith Thurman anymore. He might not be the guy he once was. Man, that boy would knock you out. And then he, you know, of course, he knew it was a no-win situation, so he talked about having super huge gloves. And she was like, nah, I want to fight you on the even playing field. And I'm like, nah, baby, don't do that. But I'm glad she kind of backtracked away from that. But that's it for this particular live stream. You know, I appreciate my sister, the Queen Shower, for dropping through, showing some love. I appreciate Edwin Moore, and of course, Jaguar Nation representing. And after this live stream, probably in about another 15 minutes or so, I'm getting ready to do another live stream talking about Southern University, upcoming spring game. So, you know, hopefully all those individuals that are going to watch it on playback, I appreciate y'all for watching it later. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal day. Again, for all my members of Jaguar Nation, I'm coming back with another live stream. I'll catch y'all on the rebound, and peace and blessings.